Hi everyone! So I've decided to do a video to share my favorite books that I've read this past year. I don't know about you, but 2013 was probably one of the best reading years I've ever had. I tried to compile a list of all the books I read that I loved, and I think it was over 30 titles, which is kind of crazy, but crazy in a good way. So in order to share these books with you in a more manageable way, I've decided to do two videos. This first one will be the top 10 best adult fiction books that I read, and the second video that I'll hopefully do will be the best young adult titles. So yeah, let's get started. Um, if I had to choose the best book out of all of them that I read this year, that would probably have to be Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I loved it. It is a story about a virtual scavenger hunt where you can win this massive fortune. And Wade is the main character. He's competing to try to win. It's exciting, fast-paced, and full of so much geekiness, which I think is why I loved it so much. It's got movie references, music references, video game references, book references. It was just overloaded with pop culture references. So yeah, they're making it into a movie, so I'm really excited for when that comes out because I think it'll be awesome. But of course, you should read the book first because the book is almost always better. So that's Ready Player One. At number 2, we have The Rosie Project by Graeme Simsion. This is the book that made me feel so happy and so, I don't know, just happy. It was cute, heartwarming, adorable, and I couldn't stop hugging it when I was done. The Rosie Project is about a professor with Asperger's, and he's trying to find the perfect wife. That ends up being more difficult than he thought, though, and he ends up meeting a girl named Rosie who is absolutely nothing like the woman he wants, yet he finds himself slowly starting to fall in love with her. So yeah, it was really cute and adorable. If you want something that makes you feel warm and fuzzy, definitely check out The Rosie Project. At number 3, we have The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. It was just so awesome. If you like the classics, or if you like history or romance, this is a good book to check out. It's a retelling of the Iliad, so the Trojan War with Achilles and his journey, to his eventual death. Sorry if that's a spoiler, but I think everyone knows how that ends. But instead of narrating it from Achilles' point of view, Miller decided to tell the story from Patroclus's viewpoint. And Patroclus is actually, if you've read the Iliad before, Achilles' best friend. And a lot of scholars believe that Achilles and Patroclus were actually lovers, because if you look at the Iliad text, there's all these references, all these things that happen that hint that they were, maybe more than just friends. So Miller decided to go that route in this book. Patroclus and Achilles fall in love. Oh, it was just so good. I didn't really know too much about Patroclus before the Iliad. Like, he shows up in other texts, I guess, so it was really fascinating getting to learn about his early life. And then seeing, this whole journey through the Iliad, reliving it, was awesome. Even though I've read the Iliad before, I couldn't remember some of the smaller details of stuff that happened in the plot, so I kept having all these oh yeah moments, like, oh yeah, I remember that happening, or oh yeah, that's so cool, I forgot about that. So yes, I love this book. Really good. Song of Achilles. Then at number 4, we have The Gods of Gotham by Lyndsay Faye. This is the book that got me reading mysteries this year. I didn't really read them until this book. It takes place in 1845 when New York City is just forming its first police department. And the main character, Timothy Wilde, is recruited to be one of these police officers. So during one of his rounds, one night, he comes across a girl who is just drenched, covered in blood from head to toe, screaming about children being murdered. And so Timothy starts to investigate this case. He does notice that children are being brutally killed, and there seems to be a serial killer, so that's what the plot line is following. The second book in the series also came out this year, Seven for a Secret, which was really good as well. Timothy and his brother Valentine are probably two of my favorite characters. They're just so complex. They're so interesting. I love them both, and I love their relationship together as brothers. It's so interesting. So if you're looking or you're interested in a mystery or some history, check out the Gods of Gotham. Next we have Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. The movie for this book actually came out this year too. It was fantastic, a really good movie adaptation, even though they had to cut some of the stuff out for time purposes. But the story of Cloud Atlas is kind of kind of confusing to explain. It's seven separate stories that are interconnected through time. So the first part of the book takes place in the 1800s, and then you go a little bit further into, 1940s and 1960s up until way, way, way in the future from now. And once you get to that part where you're way, way in the future, the book starts to work its way backwards again until the book ends when you're back in the 1800s. So as you're moving forward and then moving backwards, you're seeing all these connections through the characters. There's a bit of, what's that word? Reincarnation. There's some reincarnation happening through these different parts of these characters. So it was really fascinating. The first section was a little boring. It was really hard for me to get through. But once I got to the second part, I was hooked and I could not stop reading. So that's Cloud Atlas. Yeah, great sci-fi book. Then we have Saga by Brian K. Vaughan, illustrations by Fiona Staples. It's a graphic novel, but it's so amazing. I love graphic novels. Some people don't. But if you want to give one a try, check out the Saga series. It's so good. It's like Romeo and Juliet meets Star Wars. It's about two lovers who are on separate sides of a war, who fall in love, and they have a baby. So they're trying to protect the child, and all these crazy things happen. The characters are so interesting. I just can't stop reading this series. The pictures are great. Really wonderful. I'm trying to find a good one here to show you. Good example. So yeah, really good. Yeah. Just a warning though, for people who are uncomfortable with nudity or language, this graphic novel is chock full of that, but it is great. Really, really good. Check it out. Next we have the Maddadam series by Margaret Atwood. It came to a conclusion finally this year, and I loved it. It's a dystopian series, and I don't really know how to describe it. It's probably best to go on Goodreads and read the description of the first book, which is Oryx and Crake. So fascinating, so good. I loved all of the characters. I loved how the series ended. It was great. If you love dystopian, like The Hunger Games or Divergent, you want to read something more for adults, great series. Check it out. So good. Then we have Night Film by Marisha Pessl. This was a suspense mystery-esque book. It was really cool, though. What I loved about it the most was that throughout the story, there's articles and pictures, police reports, so you really feel like you're seeing what the main character is seeing. And the story is about a mysterious director who's kind of a little bit like Hitchcock, but he's more mysterious because no one's ever really seen his face in decades. And is it his daughter dies? Oh my goodness, it's been so long since I've read this book. Yes, his daughter is found dead. So this reporter is trying to figure out what happened to her and trying to find out all these secrets about this director whose name is Cordova, because there's so much surrounding him in darkness. So it was really creepy, a little bit confusing at times, but everything works out at the end and your mind will just be blown. It's really, really cool. So that's Night Film. Oops, my books are falling. Okay, then something a little bit lighter is Winter Wonderland by Belinda Jones. This book takes place in Quebec City during Carnival, which I loved because not many books that I've read are actually set in Canada. So, yeah, I loved it right off the bat just for that reason. But it's about a travel reporter who travels to Carnival to write about it, and she ends up falling in love with a Quebecer that lives there. And it was just cute, and I loved all the French Canadian references that kept coming up and talking about Ballon de Neige and all these things I learned about in French class as a kid. So it was really cute, really sweet, and I can't wait to read the next book in this series, which is hopefully coming out in 2014. So yes, that is Winter Wonderland. So last but not least is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I love that book. I bought a copy in November and I've searched the entire house and I can't find it anywhere. I'm so upset right now. But the book is so, so good. It's about a young boy whose family is murdered when he's a child, and his journey as he becomes one of the best wizards ever in his land. It's a fantastic fantasy. Game of Thrones fans will love it. Look at the Goodreads description. It's great. I can't wait to read the second book. I think that's going to be one of the first ones I read in January. And yeah, it's really good. The plot's kind of hard to describe again. I'm terrible at this. But if you like fantasy, check it out. Really, really good. I wish I had the cover to show you. Anyways, so that was the best adult fiction books that I read in 2013. Let me know what your favorite book was. Maybe I'll read it in 2014. And yeah, check out hopefully my young adult video that will be coming out soon. See ya!